Hello there YouTube, this is the Rogue Jam Player coming at you with a Fire King Tri-Brigade deck profile. This is part of a week-long, or if not, a series of videos where I'm combining the various decks of things like Tri-Brigade, Fire Kings, Fire Fist, things like that. Uh, just, it's one of those, Tri-Brigade is one of those kind of engines that you can throw in basically anything, and because of the fact that the Fire King stuff loves putting stuff in the graveyard, alt means that even using the Tri Brigade stuff gives you a lot of options. So let's get right into it. So to start off with the Fire King stuff, we're going to start with 3 copies of Legendary Fire King Ponix. Uh, you're going to normal summon it. If not, when a fire monster gets destroyed, you can special summon it, and then adding a Fire King spell trap is important because you can add the field spell, or you can add Sanctuary. There's a lot of things you can do, and then after this card is destroyed, you can add it back to your hand during the next standby phase. So it's part of your main play enablers because you can always access things like the field spell. Now, we then play 3 copies of the High Avatar Kirin. This is part of just part of the main engine where you can destroy a card in your hand, or destroy another fire monster. Okay, special summon it, and then if this card is destroyed, okay, you can special summon a Fire King from your hand or graveyard. So, and then you can destroy a card in the field. So it has some controlling aspects if you end up popping it. So keep that in mind. We're then playing 3 copies of Sacred Fire King Garunix. It's part of the whole engine of the deck. It gives you more cards to play. It's also special it from hand. Just being able to just have a beat stick that you can summon whenever you want. So, and it does do burn damage, so keep that in mind. It is level 8. And then for kind of like the one-off stuff, or stuff that isn't like super crucial to the deck, but you kind of want to play it, 2 copies of Arvada and 2 copies of Rangball. These are in here because they have negation effects. In addition to that, they're also level 4, so they work with the deck, and they just give you other things to play with. So keep that in mind. Arvada recycles, or Arvada specials, and then Ringball destroys a card in the field. So we're then playing one of the low-level Garunix and 1 copy of the low-level, the smaller Kirin. These are in here as kind of like other fun stuff you can play. This is good for just summoning as a board nuke, because then it punishes your opponent from destroying it, and then Kirin just allows you to load your graveyard up because it's also a beast. So now for the Tri-Brigade stuff, it's pretty much really bare bones because the deck has got a lot of consistency in it. We're playing 3 copies of Fractal. You play 3 copies of Tenki to get to this, so this becomes any Tri-Brigade you want, in the form of 2 copies of Nerval, which, when sent to graveyard, you can add any Tri-Brigade from deck to hand. So with the 1 Kuraz and the 1 Kit, you pretty much have access to the entire deck, at least the Tri-Brigade portion, no matter what, and thanks to their on-field effects to effectively link summon with your graveyard, you always have access to your entire extra deck, basically. So for the hand traps, we're playing 3 copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring and 2 copies of Nibiru. Ash Blossom is really good. It's a fire monster first and foremost, so you can, in a pinch, use it for various effects. In addition to that, these are probably the most generically usable right now. Ash is really good in 90% of cases. Nibiru is actually really good now because our main deterrent, Appaloosa, is now gone. So card decks that normally could make the negate don't have it anymore. So it's actually a lot harder to stop. So it actually is really good to punish your opponent for overextending. So for spells, we're playing 3 copies of Fire Formation Tenki. This is the only Fire Formation we play. This is mainly in here to basically access Fractal. It becomes, and also can give you access to any of the level 4 Fire King monsters. So if you already have the Fractal, you can add something, one of those. It always gives you access to a monster when you need it. And then, because I like this card, Tri-Brigade Airborne Assault. So how this card works is you target a Tri-type, and then you special summon a Tri-type of a different type but less attack. It does lock you into Link monsters for the rest of the turn, and it does negate the effect. But if you're going to use a card like... if you're going to use like a high level to get to a low level and then blow it up with one of the Fire King stuff, it actually helps. So it kind of gives you access to both sides of the engine without actually going directly into it. So, and then 3 copies of Fire King Island, because it's really, really good. Destroy a card. You can destroy a monster in your hand or your field, and then add a Fire King. So you can go Airborne Assault to pull out any card or Fire King card you need if you open the Tri-Brigade stuff, and then blow it up with Island to get into Ponyx if you need it. 1 Sanctuary to get to the field spell. The 1 Circle, and then the 1 copy of Skyburn as our kind of one-off targets for Ponyx. And then for traps, we're playing 1 copy of Echelon of the Fire Kings and 1 copy of Tri-Brigade Revolt. Tri-Brigade Revolt can use Fire King stuff as special summon targets, which is fine because you're going to be using, you're just going to link summon with it anyways, so it doesn't really matter. But it does allow you to kind of get monsters out of the graveyard. It also can help you dodge effects if they're going to banish your monsters with things like DD Crow or whatever. You can dodge effects like that and make them fizzle and get a monster out of it. So it's also good reactiveness. We're then playing 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence because it's really, really good. Just the ability to just set this and then jam out your opponent's column, or the ability to just negate anything, because it is harder to stop compared to Ash Blossom and Effect Veiler. Now for the extra deck, it's a combination of Tri-Brigade. It's mostly Tri-Brigade and generic Link stuff. So to start with, we're playing the 1 Scareclaw Lightheart. This is mainly in here because it's a Link 1 that you can play with any of the Tri-Brigade stuff if you have 1 card engraved. So it does give you access to your Link 2s if you absolutely have to play it. We're playing 2 copies of Farigite as part of our combo, because you can special a Tri-type from hand. So it allows you to kind of get you more monsters. And then when it's sent to grave, you can just place a card and draw and then put a card back into the deck. Bear Broom, this is how you get access to the to the trap. And then Rugal and Shureg as our high level Tri-Brigade Link monsters that you can play. So this gives you access to a lot of things. For generic / fire related stuff, 1 Hida, 1 Nightmare Phoenix, Promethean Princess, Nightmare Unicorn, Ambler Whale to go with the Promethean Princess, because it's a really good combo. 1 Selene, 1 Axis Code, Underworld Goddess, because you get a lot of free Link material for no reason, so you might as well try and play it. And then because we're playing the level 8s, we're playing 1 copy of the rank 8 Fire King monster. So it's a cool concept. The deck it's one of those, there's a lot of options just because of the way the deck operates. You know, you're using one engine to supplement the other, especially if you don't need to use your normal summon for the Fire King related stuff, because you can use the normal summon on a Tri-Brigade monster and then summon a big Link monster out of it. So it gives you more options, more consistent. It also makes the deck consistent because the Tankies, the Fire King Islands, they give you, and the Airborne Assaults give you access to both sides of the engine no matter what it is. So there's always a lot of options that you can do based upon what you draw, what you need to accomplish. And the cool thing is there's a lot of options. You don't have to actually play these ratios. You can throw other things in them. So it actually gives you a lot more flexibility. And it's also really budget because it does only take 3 of the structure deck for the Fire King stuff. And then the Tri-Brigade stuff is dirt cheap. I mean, it's been reprinted multiple times. The extra deck might be a little bit awkward, but a lot of the stuff's been reprinted. And then not to mention the new 10s coming out this year will probably help make it more accessible. So let me know what you guys think. Comment, rate, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.